Have you ever looked at your reflection and wondered when your life quietly slipped out of your hands? That thought hit me one ordinary Thursday morning. Same face, same tired eyes. Same carefully practiced smile I'd been wearing for years. From the outside, everything about my life seemed intact. A stable marriage, 2 healthy kids, a cozy home in the suburbs of Portland. But inside, something small and essential had gone missing. My name is Angela Moore, and I used to believe I had everything figured out. A devoted wife, a reliable coworker, a steady presence for everyone but myself. Somewhere between packing lunches and managing meetings, I became invisible in my own story. I couldn't remember the last time I felt wanted, or even noticed. Bruce, my husband, was a good man, dependable, predictable, the kind of man who fixed leaky faucets before they dripped. We'd been married 12 years, and though love once burned brightly between us, now it glowed like the faint ember of a forgotten fire. We didn't argue. We didn't laugh much either. We simply existed beside each other, 2 steady rhythms in a house too quiet to call home. Then came Noah Carter, a freelance designer assigned to my marketing team. From the moment we met, something subtle shifted in the air. His laughter came easily, his eyes were calm and knowing, like he carried warmth where I'd long gone cold. It wasn't attraction, not at first. It was something smaller, quieter, the feeling of being seen after years of blending into the background. That day, as he smiled across the meeting table, I felt something stir inside me I thought had died long ago. And deep down, I already knew. Something had begun to change. It started small, the kind of small that hides beneath good intentions. A few shared jokes during long meetings. A message that lingered a little too long on my phone screen. A smile that stayed in my mind after everyone else had gone home. Each moment felt harmless, but together they began to weave something delicate between us. Something neither of us named, but both of us felt. Noah had an ease about him that disarmed people. He asked about my favorite music, the books that made me cry, the places I once dreamed of visiting. Bruce never asked those questions anymore. He was kind, loyal, and tired. Our conversations had shrunk into checklists, bills, groceries, school forms, all the little nothings that slowly replaced connection. One evening, after the kids went to bed, I asked Bruce softly, "Do you ever feel like we're just existing?" He looked up from his laptop, confused. "What do you mean?" I forced a small laugh. "Nothing. Just tired, I guess." He smiled, kissed my forehead, and went back to his screen. That moment hurt more than any argument ever could. The next morning, Noah stopped by my desk with a coffee. "You look like you could use this," he said with a quiet smile. I wanted to tell him not to be so kind. That kindness, when you're starved of it, feels dangerous. Instead, I smiled back and whispered, "You have no idea." From that day on, I found myself counting hours, waiting for meetings, for messages, for the next breath of warmth in the gray. I told myself it was nothing, but deep down, I already knew better, because when attention starts to feel like oxygen, you've already begun to drown. It happened one rainy evening after a long day at work. The office was almost empty, the hum of the air conditioner filling the silence. Noah leaned over my shoulder to point at something on the screen, his breath brushing against my skin. My pulse stumbled. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then he stepped back, his voice barely above a whisper. "Sorry, it's okay," I managed, though my voice trembled. That was when I realized how dangerous closeness feels when you've been starved of it. A week later, he offered me a ride home. Rain streaked across the windshield as we sat parked outside my house. The world hushed around us. "You don't have to keep pretending you're okay," he said softly. Something in me broke. I turned to him, and before I could think, I crossed the line I'd been pretending didn't exist. The kiss was quiet, hesitant, and devastating. When it ended, I whispered, "We can't." "I know," he said, though his eyes told a different truth. That night, I lay beside Bruce, guilt heavy in my chest, realizing I'd undone everything I thought I understood about love. When Bruce eventually found the messages, the silence between us said what words never could. He didn't shout. He just asked, why? And I had no answer that didn't sound like breaking. Months have passed since then. Bruce lives elsewhere now. Noah faded into memory. But I'm learning to show up for myself again, to write, to breathe, to forgive slowly. Maybe forgiveness isn't an ending. Maybe it's simply walking forward, even with the weight of what you've done. Because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. It just teaches you how to carry yourself differently.